Innovation, GIS Innovation and Leadership for the SDGs in Africa, a celebration for GIS Day 2025. We appreciate everybody joining. We'll be sharing some links in the chat, including a survey, welcome survey that we'd love all of our attendees to fill out. There'll just be a few questions in there that'll help facilitate the giveaway, as well as create a map of where all of our attendees are coming from. We want to thank all of our speakers for joining us today. We're very excited about this lineup of panelists. And we'll go ahead and jump in, and I will go ahead and pass to our keynote speaker, Mr. Hyman. Mr. Hyman, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're well. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
All right, great. Colleagues and guests, partners, the global geospatial community, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to just recognize Miriam and the entire SDG Today team. Your work's been outstanding, and it's an important part of the global ecosystem. It helps our governments, researchers, students, and civil society understand development through clear and timely geospatial information. The SDG data today was created by the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network in 2020 with the support of ESRI and the National Geographic Society, and it focuses on bringing new forms of data into the SDG system. These include satellite imagery, Earth observations, civil-generated information, and artificial intelligence. And these methods obviously help us fill the gaps that many countries struggle with and do struggle still to address today. The program follows a simple idea where progress improves when data is accessible, when it is usable, and when it reflects what's happening in real places. And the SDGs today connects governments, universities, and these young professionals with the tools that reveal development patterns and accuracy. And I've spent many discussions with Miriam and the team on how we can better improve the data, not only in Africa, but also in South Africa around schools and education and health. And the training programs that open data platforms provide help institutions build new skills in GIS, Earth observation, and emerging analytical methods. A central part of the approach, obviously, is this partnership. And within civil society, these partnerships are very important with the private sector. The partnerships help countries to co-design data solutions that respond to local conditions. Without the private sector, the whole GIS community suffers, and national agencies are at a loss when it comes to data and innovation. The program helps countries build statistical and geospatial ecosystems, and it really does push hard because in many of the African countries, if you go and look at the SDG goals and how the information is being collected, there's been slow but steady progress in collecting more and more of the data required to fulfill the SDG data requirements. The program today that you'll see also follows the same intention. It invites us to look closely at how the geospatial information is influencing progress in sustainable development goals. The event places Africa at the center of the conversation, and it reflects in the objectives. We are here to understand how GIS is accelerating the SDG progress in Africa. We are here to hear from African leaders, and that's the most important part, and innovators, and we are here to explore the tools that translate information into action. From the perspective of the UN-GGIM Bureau, one observation remains consistent. Development is shaped by location, and every SDG indicator reflects a spatial pattern. Food systems, settlement growth, environmental pressure, land management, infrastructure demand, and climate exposure all move across a physical landscape, and governments need to clear information to understand these patterns, interpret these patterns, analyze these patterns for better decision making. Many African governments have been working through the Integrated Geospatial Information Framework, and the framework helps us to organize institutions, build technical capacity, and establish the national data infrastructures through the 9 pathways. The system supports planning, monitoring, and long-term development. The IGIF implementation is giving countries a structure that strengthens governance and makes development choices more informed. Land governance is another important area, and through the framework for effective land administration, countries are improving tenure systems and digitizing land information. Land influences many SDG outcomes. Secure tenure strengthens stability. Accurate land information supports agriculture and rural development. Reliable land data helps governments manage environmental risk and plan for climate adaptation. When land systems improve, the benefits reach several sectors at once. Statistical and geospatial information is also advancing the global statistical geospatial framework that helps national statistical offices and mapping authorities to work together. This integration makes the SDG reporting more reliable. It helps countries connect population data with environmental services and service delivery data and other information. The results is a clearer picture of change. Innovation is growing across the region. Young professionals, researchers, and civic networks are using drones, mobile mapping, community data, and artificial intelligence to create new insights. And these tools support agriculture, they support health planning, they support environmental monitoring and urban development, and many have begun as small initiatives and now have become essential tools for decision making. Public engagement is also expanding. Communities want clear information about places, where they live. They want to understand land decisions, infrastructure projects, and environmental risks. GIS is the thing that gives these governments that practical way to communicate through dashboards, open maps, and online data sets. As the co-chair of the UN-GGIM with Saudi Arabia and the USA, I want to highlight 3 priorities that guide the global geospatial community. One is our priority on continued IGIF implementation. National geospatial strategies are long-term commitments. They require coordination, resourcing, and consistent leadership. Our second priority is obviously the modernization of land administration. Land information policies, agriculture, settlement growth, disaster preparedness, and environmental stewardship strengthens land systems and unlocks social and economic benefits, specifically in Africa. And another priority then is regional cooperation. Oh, let me just add to the land information. I think one of the key areas there is also climate change and resilience. That's very important, and especially for our communities and our countries in the small island developing states. Our third priority is regional cooperation. Shared standards, coordinated capacity building exercises help countries respond to challenges across borders. Climate change, environmental pressures, and regional development all depend on cooperation. It also helps us with the FAIR principles of data. Today's program brings these ideas together, and we will hear from innovators who are shaping our next generation of geospatial practice. We will explore the data tools and help countries plan with clarity, and we'll have the opportunities to learn from each other. I want to thank this SDG team for once again for their hard work and giving governments the information they need and supporting researchers on geospatial matters. So on this GIS Day, I think it's important that we just recognize that I'm joining you from Ghana in Accra. We're busy with our 11th session of the UN-GGIM Africa. We've just chosen a new bureau. We've selected Morocco to lead us, and we've got Burkina Faso and Mozambique as second chairs, and then we have Burundi and we have Congo as our rapporteurs. So we're moving in Africa. We are here also at the Africa GIS conference in Accra and really having a wonderful time sharing with our community. And on that note, I would just like to thank every participant for connecting, for taking a few minutes to listen to me. I hope it was useful. And I think the geospatial community is growing, it's being strengthened, and we are able slowly and surely to answer the questions of why things are happening where they are, using the data and the information that we gather from the ground using the standards. So to the team and to the participants, thank you very much. That concludes my address. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hammond. We appreciate your words. We also, as a part of this call, we have a webinar or a survey, a welcome survey that you can fill out. You can find the link in the chat. You can see it under Luca Mock SDSN. Feel free to fill out that survey, and that will enter you for the opportunity to win a one-year ArcGIS lesson. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and move to Mr. Andre Nangirima, the Chief of the Geospatial Information Section at UNECA, for welcome remarks. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, and we apologize for joining a little bit late. As you hear from our ongoing chair of the UN-GGIM Africa Regional Committee, we are here gathered among ourselves to reflect on how we can move forward, advance the geospatial agenda in the African context. My few words is about today is a great day for us because it's a day of celebration of geospatial, and we have been discussing over the week about leadership on geospatial in Africa, meaning that we still have to work hard to ensure we get the political buy-in we need to support our effort in implementing geospatial related activity, both nationally and even regionally. So a day like the GIS Day is critically important to raise awareness. It's a part of the capacity building also we need to put in place. And my sense is that we should all join hands to ensure that every year we amplify this kind of celebration, bringing not only our community, the people in our community, but also our leaders, so that they can start understanding, getting to know the importance of geospatial in the process of planning and monitoring and even economic development in African countries. So we appreciate the opportunity we have with SDG Today to co-organize this event and popularize it, and most importantly, bring our community to a better understanding, knowledge on how we operate. We don't want to keep talking to ourselves. We need to get out of the box, talk to the people that are really need geospatial information for the day-to-day decision making. I thank Mariam Rabia for the effort she has put in getting all of us together today. And we hope that we can continue to work hand in hand for next year to even have a more bigger events on this GIS Day. And I know that the question and the issue has been raised several times to expand GIS Day to Geospatial Day. So I hope that we can slowly go into that direction and ensure that geospatial, as we always say, permeate every aspect of our society, um, at national level, at regional level, and at global level. Thank you so much. And we look forward to the rest of the program and to have a good time together to celebrate this very important aspect of technology, science, and application that is critical to our common future. Thank you so much, and happy GIS Day to all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nangarima. Happy GIS Day to you as well. We will now be moving to our innovation spotlight, and we'll be beginning with Ms. Juliet Ibanebbu, co-president of African Women in GIS.
Okay, good evening, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy GIS Day. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I will be sharing my screen. Okay. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, I want to wish everyone happy GIS Day. I'm so glad that I was able to witness this GIS Day and do some great things today. So I would be quickly talking on the topic, geo-enabled community first responders. That is innovative disaster response and management for underserved African communities. As we all know, Africa has this big gap in disaster response, and it's not because we don't have data, it's because we do not have access, and our early warning systems do not reach the communities that can read, that can understand, and our emergency apps, they don't work where there is network, and the responders, they do arrive, but they arrive late because nobody has mapped the footpath, the homes, and also vulnerable residents ahead of time. So, and if you check statistics, according to CRD data, you have that low and lower middle income countries experience 44% disaster, and 68% suffers a disaster threat. And also, according to International Telecommunication Union, it was reported as at last year that 62% of Africans were offline. And also, according to United Nations disaster risk reduction in least developed countries, many least developed countries, we don't have strong early warning coverage, and only 44% has reported to have this have a multi-hazard early warning system, of which they don't still reach the community. So I was thinking to myself, what solution can we bring to help our communities, the underserved communities, manage this disaster better? And we have the core problem, early warning system exists, but communities don't receive them. They don't understand. We are building complex application for people that are still finding it a bit difficult to understand WhatsApp. So we have hazard maps exist, but home and footpaths are not mapped. Then relief arrive, but due to lack of data access, we don't have a proper access. And also have mobile app and website exist, but it requires smartphones and literacy. So I was thinking, and internet as well. So I was thinking of a solution that would work offline and also help enable and build our communities to prepare ahead of time when they are being faced with disaster. And I thought of bringing up a solution that must work offline, be language inclusive, not require literacy, and must not depend on internet, because you have most times when disaster should happen, the internet goes off. So we should look at solutions that work without internet. And also, I looked at a solution that would empower community responders. So I came up with this solution, geo-enabled community data and disaster management model that is designed specifically for underserved African communities where people lack internet access, smartphone literacy, and basic emergency infrastructure. So this low resource disaster response system will be built on 5 pillars: satellite-based hazard prediction, community mapping of homes, pathways, and safe zones, and voice-based early warning, offline emergency coordination, and local first responders network. So now, think of this as a bridge between the high-tech disaster forecasting and then the real-life local actions. So how would this work? We have the risk detection. The satellite will monitor the flood zone, the erosion risks, landslides and paths. Then we have community digitalization. We have volunteers that will help map homes, safe zones, footpaths, people that need help using offline applications. We have wonderful offline GIS applications for mapping as well. So we also have warning communications. Household would receive automatic voice calls and alert in local languages. And I think that is where we are also, having a gap. And also response activation. First responders will get offline navigation to victims, would have live feedbacks. The residents would send reports using the USSD code that doesn't require internet or literacy or even smartphone. So the highlights, what are the highlights? Now, we have that there is no internet, that's a problem. Using offline mapping and SMS and USSD help solve that solution. Then low literacy, we have a voice alert in local languages so that our people will not miss out. They send a communication in English and most of them do not understand it. So the local language, that is where it comes in. So we have no location data and community mapping access and routes. That is what we are going to bring in. Then slow emergency response. We are going to train local volunteers who are going to be responders that are going to be from the community. And we also have problem of coordination, but because we are going to have a live GIS dashboard, it's going to help a lot. So how communicating without literacy. So instead of our, the communities receiving flood is expected in 6 hours, please move to a safe zone. Many people don't understand this. But if you say in a local language that flood water would reach your area in 6 hours, move to community school. Maybe they have a specific community school that has been assigned. Then they will ask them, if you need help, press 1. Then we'll have the USSD reporting system that will help enable them get help as needed. So we are going to see a sample use case, flood scenario. We have satellite will detect rise in water, which will trigger the alert. And we have automatic call that would say water will rise in 3 hours. Please move to the nearest zone or move to the community school, maybe a particular community school, like I said. Then the volunteers will receive offline maps to evacuate elderly and displaced residents, and the residents will be able to report status by dialing the USSD code and the data updates and response authority in real time. Now, what is the outcome? We expected that there's no internet that is required, there's no literacy, and this would help for rapid response before the external help should come. So the structure will be simple. The youth mappers, the leaders who will be able to verify safe zones and guide the community during emergency. Now, this will work with the community. The community will come together and help themselves. We'll have the women's circle, the first responders, who will be people that we are going to train in the community that would help their fellow community members as well. So we also have tech volunteers that will, synchronize data when the internet is available. So this model just embeds gender inclusivity and community ownership. Then this is what is expected. The response time, the casualty would decrease, the inclusion would be 100%, voice-based outreach. Connectivity dependence is 0%, and community resilience will improve massively. Then, how does this align to African development goals? Now, this model supports the African Union agenda in 2023 and also supports the SADC framework for disaster response, that is the early warning system and local capacity building, and SDG goal for 11 and 13, which is sustainable in city and climate change, climate action, sorry, and SDG 5, this is the woman-led community resilience. Now, the implementation is very simple. We would have hazard mapping and community sensitization. We're going to use GIS, remote sensing, and location and local knowledge to map out these areas that have this flood and erosion and other disasters. Then engage the community. We should be able to train our communities ahead of time so that they will not be stranded when these things should happen. Because as somebody who is in the disaster response area, I found out that most of these communities, they don't understand, they don't train them. So when they are faced with this disaster, they don't know what to do at the right time. So we have local mapping, volunteer training, train the volunteers that help evacuate the members, this system deployment, and community simulation drill. We are going to run this model and help our communities practice ahead of time. So we are going to scale it across. We are going to test run in one community. If it's, becomes much better, run the simulations and get to like 85% or 90%, we try it in another community to help develop them. To help prepare them much better for the flooding or maybe any natural disaster ahead of time. So I would just say that Africa, we don't need more apps. We just need apps that are life-saving and that does not, they don't work without smartphones. Most of these people, they don't know how to use smartphones. And you find out here in Nigeria, most of these persons that are in these places that have these natural disasters, they are all in the rural settings. They don't even know how to operate WhatsApp, basic WhatsApp. Then you're building an app that is complex. They don't even know what to do about it. So this model would help them, down to earth. It's for the community. We engage the community and know them better. So, future of the disaster response is not digital. It's supposed to be local, accessible, and inclusive. It's supposed to be community driven. So we don't just predict data and deliver response to the last mile in ways everybody can understand, because it will make no sense if you build a website or build an application that nobody can use, nobody can understand. It's as good as not building anything. So I believe we should build applications that our people can use. So this is the model that is still I'm open to collaboration. We are still developing it. So should anybody be interested to work with me on this, they should just reach out to me so that we can take it further from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Abinego. And just a reminder, the webinar recording will be made available to everyone after the end of the webinar. Now we'll be moving to Mr. Sergio Niquis, Director of Geospatial Intelligence Division, National Agency for Geospatial Development, Mozambique. Sergio? It actually looks like we've lost Sergio for the moment. So we will go ahead and move to our next speaker, Ms. Marie Makwate, founder and researcher at Geospatial Girls and Kids. Go ahead, Marie.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I would like to share my screen because I have something to. Sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen. I don't know what's wrong.
No worries. There should just be the share screen button at the bottom of the screen.
Hi, I'm back. I have a problem. I had a problem with my connection here.
No
To
worries.
share my
We're just waiting for Marie to share her screen, and then we'll.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Marie, if you want to practice sharing your screen, we can go ahead and let Sergio go now, and you can play around with the share screen during that. How does that sound?
Okay, I'll come after him. I don't know what's wrong.
No
Sorry.
worries. And feel free to send me something if you need me to share it for you. Sergio, go ahead and oh, you got it.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much for this opportunity to share our experience on using geospatial information for SDG for Africa. So today, or for this opportunity, I would like to share with you the work it's undergoing exactly this moment. We started within a pilot project, but now we are implementing full project. It's about a digital health map for red rec micro planning in Mozambique. So I'll start giving any quick background about the Red Rec strategy that we are supporting on the Minister of Health. So the Minister of Health established or implementing a project that we known as a Red Rec, which made reach all districts, reach all communities, strategy for high priority districts. In Mozambique, the Minister of Health is working hardly to make sure that all children they can have access of vaccination. So the Minister of Health developed this project or this strategy, taking into account 5 main components, such as community involvement, supportive supervision, monitoring and use of data for action, reach all eligible population, and planning and managing human resources related to the Ministry of Health. So next. So how come the need of digitalization? When we start to implement the Red Rec strategy, we identify some limitation on the process of implementing. I can mention some of them here, like uncertainty about the local population estimates. So we need to know how many children that must be vaccinated for each location. Paper maps of health intervention zones based on approximate geographic information on health infrastructure, settlements, and catchment areas. Paper-based data collection not linked to any health information system, and also some inefficiency during the operation related to lack of human resource, some funds and means and stock constraints that are found during the process. As you can see on my right or on your right side, you can see some sketch maps they were used to identify the location of population and children that must be vaccinated. So for this reason, we introduce geospatial technology to make sure that we can map all population and know where to find the children that are in the age to be vaccinated. So as during the project, the pilot, we define some specific steps that must be taken when we reach a specific district. We start with an introduction and stakeholder engagement and the pilot project work plan development. We did that. After that, we make any primary collection of data, including the cleaning of that data, but taking into account the central level and the provincial level. After that, we could go to any second round of data collection to fill the gaps that we identify on the first phase, and also to see at the district level about the communities and the concentration point geographic coordinates. So on that, we realized that some location didn't, it wasn't mapped, and other, they were mapped, but not for this purpose, and we identified some errors and we had to correct them. After this process of collecting data for two districts that called Mokuba and Guru in two provinces of Mozambique, we conducted a workshop to disseminate the results that we found after we collected, and also to have any validation from those stakeholders from those districts to districts. And to make sure that all data that has been collected has a platform, we deploy a GeoPrism registry. It's any platform for georegister, common registry. So with this platform, we would be able to gather all data related from the communities, concentration point, healthy facilities that exist on those two districts, and also to make this data available and create a master list for each data set that we have been collecting. At the end, it is needed to integrate this this digital process on micro planning that it's already there on the RedRec project. After explaining about the methodology that we use, I'd like to let you know about the tools that and system that we have been using to make sure that you would map all concentration point and all health facility that exist. We use ODK for data collection. We also use a GeoPrism registry to host all data and make sure that it is available for all users. Also, we use user-friendly forms that we adapted to national health system that already existed on the Ministry of Health, and those forms, they were able to collect data online or even offline. So in terms that we collect data offline, wherever we get any internet, then we could upload, we'll be able to upload data to our domain database. So with that data, we make some analysis, and we can see some maps that are results of that analysis. So this analysis were useful to help us to identify the proximity that existed from the house of the child that need to be vaccinated to any healthy facility. So if we see, we can look to the right map on right side, we could see three main different colors: red, green, and yellow and orange. I mean, four colors. So from green dark, it means that this child, it is close to any health facility to be vaccinated. And all are in the red areas. It means that they are very far from the health facility, and we could use this information to reprogram the human resource distribution and creating a new concentration point to support all gaps that were identified during the vaccination process. So this would help us to identify underserved areas, also to mapping of geographic barriers that existed, and also helping the Minister of Health in the resource optimization. We had such a situation that we could have a specific number of vaccines that is being taken to the specific location, but without knowing that there are more children or more areas without the information, or unknown areas that used to be left behind without vaccination. So, by mapping, by using geospatial intelligence, we were able to identify all children that are in need of vaccination and change the way the process were done before we use geospatial information. So as a main result that we found, we were able to have for this pilot project before, we were able to have a list of the health facility with the precise geographical coordinates. So we really know exactly what are the healthy facilities, a list of concentration points and associated communities, as we can see on two maps on top, or our right top on this slide. A validated basic map with roads, river, administrative boundaries. So we have to work on data quality, make sure that this data is correct, if they really exist on the district that we are working on. Also, if you can see on downside part on left, you can see a master list. So we were able to create a master list for each type of data sets. On my right below, we can see any result of a map after all exercise of spatial analysis, or I mean the use of geospatial tools to make sure that we can have all information for each area in any healthy facility area. On that map, we can see that there are points that, okay, the legend maybe can't be very clear, but you can see at least the colors that show the areas with close to any health facility or any concentration point. Also the areas with a green color that are close to any health facility. I'll show some samples of maps that could help us to understand better. This is any healthy area that we can see the location of population. Those small polygons that we can see within the map, they show the population agglomeration. The colors show the distance from any health facility or any concentration point. That means on green areas, the child or to access any healthy service should work up to 1 hour maximum. The next color, it's between yellow and the green. We could work up to 2 hours to find any healthy facility. And up to yellow color, they could work up to 4 hours, and green, it means that they are really out of the range of the accessibility, which means that when we find such a situation, we advise the Ministry of Health to create any concentration point to assist that population located in that place. So this is another example.
Sorry to interrupt. We just need you to conclude within about a minute.
Okay, so I'm really concluding just this example. For this exercise, we were able to have enough knowledge to scale up. Now we are working in 2 provinces. We finished 1 province, Zambezi, and now we are working in Nampula province, implementing the same project. So here I will just show what we had before and now what we have. Before we were using paper-based maps. Now we are using digital, and we can also print. As a conclusion, geospatial intelligence is transforming Frederick microplanning. It is enhancing equity in access to vaccination service. It is increasing efficiency in resource allocation, and it contributes significantly to universal health coverage. Thank you very much for your attention. These are the sponsors of the project that we are working in. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Sergio. Marie, were you able to find the share option?
Yes, please.
Yes. Unfortunately, we may need you to keep to about 5 minutes for your presentation. If that's
Okay, I will be fast. It's not that long. Okay, can you see my screen now, please?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. And sorry for it's technology. I mean, so good afternoon, good morning, everyone, and happy GIS Day. My name is Marie. I'm from Cameroon. I'm a researcher and also the founder of Geospatial Girls and Kids NGO. So it's truly an honor to be here today with a community that understands how powerful geospatial knowledge can be. And today I'm going to present the Space for School initiative. It's a program born from one simple belief. If we want Africa youth to be part of tomorrow's technologies, we need to bring the future into their classroom, not wait for them to come upon it later in their life. So in many African schools, general, technical, rural, even urban school, space science simply doesn't exist. Not because students are not capable, not because teachers lack interest, but because the tools, the resources, and even the exposure are missing. So we meet students who are genuinely curious during our program. They ask like how satellite works, how drone flies, how climate change is measured, but they have never heard a sensor. They have never opened a satellite image or never flown a drone. So that gap between curiosity and opportunity is what Space for School is designed to close. So what's Space for School? Space for School for us is more than a program. It's a movement to introduce space science and geospatial literacy at the functional level across the African continent. We give students access to real tools, real data, and real experiences, all through a model that is simple enough to replicate anywhere in the African and even beyond the African continent. That's a bridge between the classroom and the global technology landscape, and a bridge that many African learners have never had access before. One of the reasons students feel disconnect from space or from STEM in general is often stay theoretical. Space for School project addresses that by introducing emerging technology directly into classroom environment. We work with drones, IoT climate sensor to collect real-time environment measurement. We work with basic robotics. We work with satellite imagery and mapping tools to analyze land use, climate risk, and everyday problems. We also do digital labs where students explore simulation and data. For most of them, this is the first time they touch those tools. in many countries, we try to implement the program. We just realized that the first contact with students is very transformative. So our workshop are hands-on from start to finish. We don't lecture them, we explore, because we trust that learning by doing is the best way to go with students. So students learn to collect data, they learn to read and interpret satellite images, they map their school and neighborhood. Here are some examples we made in Cameroon with students using a kit to measure the temperature of their school, to try to manage the waste around the school, and so on and so forth. So after the workshop, we don't just leave, we create some space, which become the heartbeat of the program. That's what we call Space Club. This space includes student-led innovation space, guided by mentors, generally their professors. And we focus on mini challenges and creativity among schools in the country. For many girls in particular, Space Club become a safe space where they can express curiosity, experiment, lead, and reshape their relationship with STEM, science, technology, and mathematics. Here are also some pictures during our activities in some school in Côte d'Ivoire. So Space for School program directly support global development priorities. We can notice that it contributes to the SDG 4, quality education, the SDG 5, gender equality, by intentionally engaging girls and giving them leadership roles. The SDG 9, specifically the innovation part, by introducing students to technology shaping the fourth industrial revolution. And finally, the SDG 13 with the climate action, by enabling schools to measure and understand climate risk through the real data collected by their own students. So the program is not only educational, it's strategic. It's prepared the next generation of African innovators, researchers, and even climate actors. What's the impact? In 2025, we began the rollout within 15 schools across the continent. We have worked.
Sorry to interrupt, Maria. We have about a minute before we need you to wrap up.
Yeah, we reached 15 schools in 2 countries, Cameroon and Côte d'Ivoire. And we think that the program is very innovative. And yeah, we invite all of you to participate. If you are interested by the initiative or by the program, you can reach out to us and we can continue the discussion. Thank you so much to the SDG for the opportunity, and happy GIS Day again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marie. Happy GIS Day. We'll jump to our final presentation from Ms. Pauline Okio, Solution Engineer at Esri.
Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you so much, and happy GIS Day to everyone, all friends and colleagues who are part of this celebration. So I believe I'll also take the next 5 minutes to walk through some of the ways that we are driving innovation to be able to address or to take the geographic approach when addressing SDGs. So this is just basically looking at how you're able to integrate data, understand indicators, and be able to share progress. So mainly when it comes to being able to access and integrate data in your work, we are taking the approach of modern GIS, so that's web GIS, whereby you are able to access key capabilities when it comes to accessing information, being able to analyze it and share it out for use. So within the modern GIS framework on our web platform, Access Online, and all our portals for ArcGIS, it's possible to access imagery, either within provided by Esri or imagery that you have, and be able to use analysis tools on the online platform to extract meaningful information. So we now have deep learning capabilities that allow you to classify or detect features from images. These tools require very simple parameters, whereby you're able to add your image, use a model that you've either trained or pre-trained models available within ArcGIS, and specify your outcomes. So beyond that, you're able to do your classification and finally generate outputs such as building footprints that can be a useful resource in getting meaningful insights. So an example of that is in the case I was using for an informal settlement in Uganda. It's possible to use this information to build dashboards that provide meaningful insights in various ways. So for instance, looking at one of the informal settlements, it's possible to understand the kind of use of different buildings, education institutions and access to that, health services, financial services available to people there, water and electricity, and other services that might be available to the people that are there. This dashboard was actually developed by one of our many user communities in Uganda called MapRI, whereby they are able to configure these applications for the different informal settlements that they're supporting. Another way that innovation can be used to derive insights is being able to use, again, tools and available demographic information to provide meaningful insights. So also, again, within the online platform, it's possible to enrich your layers using different variables. These variables have been arranged or organized for different countries. And again, when looking at the case of Uganda, you can see that we have different variables when it touches on population, income, age, and so on. And once that is done, we get, other than understanding where the probably the settlements are and the extractions we've gotten, we can also get meaningful insights. For example, if you're looking at the same location where we have highly vulnerable populations when it comes to financial access or financial income, and vulnerable populations such as people over 60 years old. Again, within the same platform, it's possible to use applications that are available. And from those applications, you can support different functions. An example is data collection, whereby we have tools that you can build within the system and be able to support data collection in different scenarios. So if you're looking still at the safety of some of these populations, it's possible to use AI assistance within ArcGIS to generate rapid needs assessment forms, whereby you just put in your prompt and it generates that form for you. Again, with the different forms, you're able to put in a skip logic that allows you to collect information based on requirements that are there. And once your form is designed, you're able to preview it and test out how it performs in different scenarios. So for example, looking at the form that I have, I can test out one of the questions that are there, whereby we now have AI-assisted analysis of images, whereby if I add an image of people who I'm doing assessments on, what happens is that you're able to analyze the image and get information such as the number of adults, number of children, and a description, which allows people to collect information rapidly in the field and have this information available for use to support different functions. So many of our communities and users have used ArcGIS to do different activities. As I mentioned, we have MapRI in Uganda. They have been able to support a lot of SDGs related needs with informal settlements in Uganda. We have GIS who have worked with the energy sector to provide clean energy to different areas such as refugee camps. When it comes to food security, we have other partners who are working with the vulnerable communities in Uganda, and they're using tools to be able to provide access to or improve food security in those areas. We also have other UN agencies using the technology to map populations at risk. And we have amazing communities like Women in GIS Uganda who have also used technology in different ways. We provide a means for countries to be able to have their own country portfolios for different purposes and hub sites for sharing out information. And finally, just to mention that where AI is going and in terms of removing the barrier of access to some of these tools, now we have also AI assistance on web applications that can allow you to query information using natural language. So in this case, for this application for Sierra Leone, whereby I've just used the natural language to query information, it will quickly sort out the information that's on the layers, on the map, and you can have the final result provided. So those are just some of the ways that innovation is being applied to improve access to insights or indicators tied to SDGs and to encourage also leaders to take advantage of some of these resources when making informed decisions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pauline. We appreciate your presentation. And I just wanted to go ahead and share a map really quickly. This is as a part of the survey, the welcome survey. We asked you all to share your city and your location through the survey, and this is where all of our participants are tuning in from. So that concludes our webinar for today. I want to send a huge thank you to all of our presenters and speakers, and to all of our participants for joining from all over the world. Please do not hesitate to reach out with opportunities to collaborate, whether that's SDGs Today or any of our speakers here today. We will be sharing an email with the recording for this session, as well as any other resources that our speakers have shared. So thank you again for everybody for attending, and happy GIS Day.